Peace and love. This is your host, the Ravenous Blackbird, aka the Virgo poet. You're watching Ravenous Blackbird, Purple Connection, and yeah, it's about 12 o'clock, on 12 o'clock at night, and been having a lot on my mind and things I've been sharing about our president, about the Baltimore Ravens, politics. My channel covers all of that. It's not just exclusive about football or about the Baltimore Ravens. It covers politics because I want y'all to learn as well. And so, this video, I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. I'm a little sleepy, but I'm not ready to go to sleep yet. That's why you see, yeah, I got on my mask. I do sleep with a mask over my eyes. See? And I am in California, Southern California, so it's going on 12 o'clock. It's probably, that means it's almost what, 3 o'clock there on the East Coast. So if that's where you're watching from. But I just want I want to call this video the Imperfections of a Madman. And this is going to be about our President Donald Trump. And again, I'm not going to try to keep you long, and I'm calling this video The Imperfections of a Madman because people are calling our president a madman. And Christians, and I have already discussed this somewhat in other videos, this is kind of a part two follow up to another video that I kind of did called Racism or Injustice, Racism, and Discrimination. So it kind of ties in to that first video, The Imperfections of a Madman. And the reason why I'm calling it that is, again, you guys refer to Donald Trump as some type of madman, disrespectful, yada, yada, yada. But the key word there is imperfections. And I know a lot of us don't like to hear the truth. Some Christians have gotten mad at me. Okay, and so be it. You know, Christians getting mad at Donald Trump. The Democrats are mad at Donald Trump because he's standing up for the Bible. He's standing up for what's right. But a lot of us don't see that because we're too busy seeing his imperfections. And the Bible says, he who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. So my question to any of y'all that's criticizing Donald Trump's imperfections and won't look at his track record, thank you for taking out to President Donald Trump for taking out, in the name of the United States of America, the leader of ISIS. Add that to his track record. But a lot of y'all can't look beyond his external and his imperfections and his cussing and his things that you used to do, and some of y'all still doing it. How about that? We got Christians still going to church, cussing folks out. And they got the nerve to turn that same mouth that you pray to our God with and put your mouth on the president and cursing him. And some of y'all cussing him. But have you took a moment and looked at yourself and for one said, you know what? I could never do what Donald Trump is doing, no matter how much I criticize him, because he's carrying the United States of America, this nation, on his shoulders. Have you ever thought about that? That you think you can outdo our president? And he's done a lot more in that White House than other past presidents have. But you can't look beyond his imperfections. That's the problem, especially with church people. We always criticize him. We have no business talking bad about him. You can have an opinion, but talking bad about the president is not going to get him to change. Praying for him. If you're a Christian. If you're not a Christian, then that don't apply to you. If you're not a Christian, then I expect you to talk the way you talk about our president. I expect you to not be able to see past his imperfections if you're not a Christian. I expect you to be able to be judgmental and call him out his name and say he this and he that. And I expect you not to be able to see and recognize that God is using our president with his imperfections, as he's used me in ministry with my imperfections, as he's used other Christians watching this video with their imperfections. The imperfections of a madman. Oh, Donald Trump this. He disrespectful. He crazy. He blah, 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 blah. Check his track record. Check what he's done. And go beyond the news channels. Go beyond the haters. Go beyond the people that you see on the TV, which are anti-Trump supporters, Trump haters. God chose Donald Trump, whether you like it or not, for such a time as this. And he's done so much more than what Obama has done. But again, you can disagree, but have you done your research? And the research is not turning on the TV and watching the news that's in their anti-Trump. Have you opened the books? Have you Googled the Republicans and the Democrats? Have you Googled some of the people running for president against Donald Trump, the Democrats, since it seems like most people are Democrat? Then I'm not trying to be judgmental. That's just the way it is, because we've been taught the Democrats has always been the good guys, the Republicans the bad guys. You can't go by that no more. Everything is switched. If you're going to vote for Democrats, you're voting for abortion. I've said this before. Do your research. You're voting against pro-life. You're voting for same-sex marriage. You're voting for Sharia law. You're voting for a one-world government, one-world order, excuse me. One religion as one. Saying that Jesus is not the only way, but you're a Christian. Between the two lesser evils, I would rather vote for the man that is imperfect but standing up for God. Whether he's a madman or not, just like God changed your heart and changed me, he changed the Apostle Paul and many others throughout Bible history. Why couldn't he change the heart of Donald Trump, who, by the way, has Christians around him in the White House praying over him, teaching him the word, ministering to him? He has a spiritual advisory board, which consists of not only Caucasian, but Black and Mexican. So how can he be racist? People, do your research, especially Christians. And remember this, as he's imperfect, so are you. There was one perfect person that walked this earth, and that was Jesus Christ, who never sinned, who never got out of walking in love. Instead of you criticizing the president with your mouth, speak life over him, pray for him. Some of y'all still doing the same stuff he doing, and you pointing the finger at him. Oh, what about the cages? He didn't create the cages. Obama created the cages. But President Trump is doing something with those cages that Obama didn't do. President Trump is utilizing the cages. They're supposed to be used to house illegal immigrants. If we don't put them there, where are you going to put them? Well, I think it's wrong. Okay, don't lock your door at night then. Get rid of your gun. Get rid of your bats. Get rid of your protection for your house, and just leave your door wide open and don't lock it, since you don't believe in the borderline policy. Leave your door wide open. You got a borderline policy. You're not going to let anybody just come in your house. And if they do, you're going to do whatever it takes to protect it. So don't give me that junk about it's wrong what he's doing about putting up a wall, and it's wrong about putting illegal immigrants, in those cages that Obama created. Stop, y'all. Please do your research. We have an important vote coming up in 2020. And this is the most important vote, especially for Christians and the church. And a lot of us just sitting back, going to church and coming home, and just that's it. Going to Bible study, singing in the choir, joining the deacon board, the usher board, and that's it. Teaching Sunday school, and when we get home, that's it. And when we watch the news, good, you're being informed, but what are you doing but beyond watching the news? You can't believe everything the news is anti-Trump. Do your research. They don't want you to know the good things he's doing, especially if they're not Christians. They're trying to shut the church down. They're trying to call the Bible and people that preach the Bible hate speech. The Democrats. So we're 10 minutes into this video. And I'm getting a little bit more sleepy, but I wanted to come in and talk to you guys in love and poke at you a little bit. Yeah, tick you off a little bit. Stop talking bad about President Trump. If you can't do a better job, shut your mouth. If you're already perfect and you kept the whole law, which no man, the Bible says that no man kept the law, and it's more than just 10 commandments. Way more law than just 10 commandments. And not never one of us kept every law. For all have sinned. For all have fallen short. So please, stop focusing on the external imperfections and calling this man crazy or a madman. Because if you check his track record, I think he's doing a heck of a job. The employment rate has risen. But you don't see that, do you? You don't see none of the good stuff he's doing for the church. None of the good stuff he's doing for this nation. Because you're too busy focusing on his imperfections. You've been watching Ravenous Blackbird, aka the Virgo Poet. I will be also adding some poetry videos to this channel. So stay tuned for me to start spitting some spoken word. If some of you like poetry, this channel's for you. Some of you like politics, this channel's for you. Some of you like sports and the Baltimore Ravens football team, this channel's for you. I love y'all, man. Pray for our president. You have a blessed evening.